Hey there, welcome to Fumble Forward, where we explore turning life's imperfect moments into growth moments. I'm Akuya, your host. Get ready to laugh, maybe shed a tear, but most importantly, be inspired to live a life with intention. Let's dive in. Woohoo! This is, it's crazy because it feels very full circle. Because episode 1 of Fumble Forward was just a hot mess express, and I was really just like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. And it's so funny because this is literally the third time I'm recording this episode because GarageBand wanted to start glitching, and I'm also trying to do a YouTube video. And so if you have been back since like episode 1, 2, and 3, you already know right now I'm just like, okay, Queen, we got this. We got this. This is a lot going on, but I really want to do this, even if it means fumbling forward. Okay. And yeah, we're doing this. I'm like trying to balance all that is going on right now with the audio, with my notes. You know, it's just really a testament because season 1 was such a roller coaster ride of figuring out what worked for me, talking about Happy Yourself, which was the season theme, and then really transitioning into waiting and what does that mean and having guests on. And it got so fun. And so now, season 3, we're just continuing what this, we are, what's the way I'm trying to say this? So basically, Fumble Forward was created because I went on a journey of realizing as much as I want to be perfect, I'm not. I'm imperfect. Okay, now how do I figure out how to navigate life and not make a mess out of things? And just maybe other people are also struggling with this and want a community, want to get perspective and insight and all the things. And so, hello, Fumble Forward. And so this season, it's really going to be just a collection of different topics and themes, really relevant to summertime, really relevant to this concept of being imperfect, really diving into it in a way that we really haven't in season 1 and 2. And I'm going to be having guests. And please be patient with me because I'm going to try to do video things, situation. Oh man, like literally, I'm just closing my eyes right now, like, we'll see. We'll see. I'm putting positive thoughts out there, still focused, and I'm fumbling forward. And so I also wanted to spice things up with the structure of the podcast and really start it off with something fun. So every episode, I'll start off with either a game or adventure or something that I've been doing. So for today's episode, that is all about understanding yourself better and really decoding what your imperfections are. Okay, really decoding your imperfections. The adventure that I had recently was I went to Minnesota and California to visit family, and it was really such a great trip. I'm so glad I went, and I knew I needed to go back to Minnesota because it's been 5 years since I last went, and everyone had grown up. People had changed so much. I was like, oh my gosh, time is just really flying by. And then it was so great to go to California and see my sister and her husband and my mom and just really get to connect with family out there. So now I feel rejuvenated because I've seen new landscapes, experienced new climates, all the things. So, something also new to the podcast before we dive into, understanding yourself better and decoding your imperfections. I wanted to start this new thing with you all. If you've ever had that like imperfect moment, situation, story that just kind of sounded messy and complicated, all those kind of things, and you were like, I would really love like a second opinion on this, or maybe a fourth. This is your chance. I'm starting a new thing where you can submit your stories, imperfect inquiries to the Fumble Forward podcast email. So I'm going to be providing all the details in the show notes, But this is your chance to just share your story and get some insight from where I'm kind of thinking and seeing it from. And also a chance for you to be a part of this episode, for you all to be in the experience, because this is definitely not just about me. It's about you and me really navigating this space as best as we can. Okay. And so that's like a fun thing. I'm excited to kick off for season 3, Imperfect Inquiries. All right. All right. And so the topic of the day, and you know what's so frustrating is like my garage band is just like not working anymore. So we're gonna see how the audio from my iPhone works for this episode. I'm just like, why? Why can't things be simple? And I've actually never had this problem with GarageBand, so I'm not sure why it's struggling, what is going on there, but I'll figure it out at least by the next episode, right? And so you're probably here because sometimes you try to be perfect. You want to get everything just right, and you failed. And that feeling is awful, and you didn't really know what to do with it. If that sounds familiar. And now you're just coming to this side of releasing your imperfection. Your perfection, sorry. Your perfection. You're releasing your perfection and realizing, okay, what do I do now? What do I do next? And it's crazy that I have struggled with this for most of my life, of just this idea that I needed things to be just right. I needed to be perfect in all these different situations, even though I knew that I wasn't perfect. Like, clearly in my faith, it shows that I am anywhere from perfect with all my different sins and complications and mistakes and all the things. And yet, this is what I was striving for. And so this podcast is a testament to this whole idea. And I wanted to really dive into that to kick off season 3. So this season, as we talk about all of us humans being imperfect and all the things, I really wanted to jump in and do something where we get an exercise of sorts to really put the things that we're learning here into practice, because hearing is one thing, doing it is another. So we're going to be incorporating some exercises, homework, but in a good way. Okay, homework you actually want to do because you understand why you're doing it, which is what they never tell you in school, and you know it's going to get you closer to the person you want to be. And very much so, these exercises, homework, whatever I want to call it, or you want to call it, is something that I'm doing as well. So we're in this together, okay? And so today I want to walk through an exercise, and I've been starting to do more of this in my life. So I want you to grab a pen or paper. Really try to not do this on your phone or some type of desktop or laptop. Like, something about writing it is going to make a difference here, okay? And then I want you to draw a line down the middle and then draw a line at the very top, kind of like a T shape. And at the top, in one column, write your positives and benefits of being imperfect. Okay. And then on the other side, imperfect, your imperfection, right? So that was like really choppy, messy, but figure this out, okay? Figure this out. So you're gonna have 2 columns. One's your imperfection. One is a positive or benefit that came from that imperfection, okay? And now what you want to do is fill that exercise out. You want to write at least 3 things about you and that are imperfect in that column, right? And then on the other side, write the benefits or a positive thing that has come from you being imperfect. Okay? And here's an example of mine, right? So on the imperfect side, I have lots of scars on my body, whether it's from being really active kid, playing sports, being aggressive with my sisters, all the things, tons of scars on my body. Um, Even though I would say the positive and the benefit of those is most of them are really fond memories. Like most of them are me and my sisters playing in the neighborhood with other kids. It's me and my sisters creating like whole worlds and ideas and creatures in the backyard, or coming up with a real cool game that like incorporates gymnastics in it. And so those scars are also like reminders of really good moments and connections times that I've had with family and friends. And so that's the exercise. Hopefully that made sense. Your girl's gonna get better at this. Okay, okay. But this is really just to get you to see that like your imperfections have a positive and benefit role in your life. They are not all negative, and they serve you and help you and give you insight in this thing called life, right? So just really remembering that, and that your imperfections are not as bad as they seem, right? This is really training your brain to see, okay, there is another side to this that I may not be considering, that I may not be thinking about very much when I think of this imperfection. So this is the exercise to get your brain in a better habit of doing that, right? And so I say all that to say, being imperfect, you have to extend yourself grace. When you do this exercise, you will see, oh, okay, I need to extend myself grace. It's okay, you know? And then, remember, people are judging a lot of imperfection experiences and traits about themselves every day that they're walking. So, as much as you extend yourself grace, try to extend grace to others because they're having their own challenges similar to like what you're experiencing yourself. So I hope you really took away from that section about just like understanding yourself, decoding your imperfections, and what that can look like, something that you can do really quick. Ideally, you have pen and paper and you sit down and like actually write this. But if you don't have time and you're just like in your car or something, just say them out loud. Like just do the exercise yourself, speaking out loud and seeing what you come up with. All right. So let's dive in. What am I looking forward to? I'm looking forward to posting up this video on YouTube and really getting this first episode out for season 3. It's been such a long road to get here because when I tell you life was life in April, it continues to get crazier in May. I've just decided to shift my mindset of like, ooh, the plot is thickening, the story is just getting better, right? The story that is aka my life. So I'm looking forward to just diving into this, figuring it out, and getting this out to all of you because you can now see all my animations and crazy animated facials that I tend to do with these episodes. So that'll be on YouTube, Fumble Forward Podcast. And I want to do something a little new every episode. I'm going to share my favorites. And these can be my favorite products, my favorite services, just my favorites. So I wanted to start off with my favorites, perfect for summer. My favorite sunscreen, hands down, is Black Girl Sunscreen. It just makes sense, okay? This sunscreen basically feels like just lotion, just regular lotion, and blends in so well with my dark skin. It is amazing. You don't know how many times as a kid I have, that white cast look on my skin and just looking crazy and just being so jealous that like my white friends, it didn't look as bad on them, but it looked horrible on me. No longer is that a problem. That is a problem of the past. Adult Aquia now has access to Black Girl Sunscreen. So I'm going to be sharing the link and all that information in the show notes, but love me some Black Girl Sunscreen, okay? And they got it for face and body, so check it out. And then also I wanted to share, as we're getting into new seasons and the environment's changing, just really keeping up with my skincare. So my favorite face wash right now is Coco Kind's Oil and Milk Facial Cleanser. It just does the job and it goes a long way. That's what I really love about this. Like, I can have the tube size forever because like a little dot the size of maybe like a dime can go through your whole face and just give you that moment where you're just loving up on your face, cleaning it, and just so thankful that, you know, you can take care of yourself. So those are my two favorites. And if you have a friend who's struggling to look past their imperfections, this episode is the one to help them mentally reframe what that looks like and what that means. So I hope that you share this with them so that they can also get this insight and join this awesome community. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you got to subscribe to the podcast, especially because this season is going to be really off the charts. We're going to have guests, we're going to have different exercises and things to get you going, and really we have our email list going on that takes this podcast episode to the next level. So it's just really becoming like a full circle community over here. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So now that you have listened to this whole episode, the first episode of season 3, I just want to say thank you for listening, and I hope that you do the imperfect and positive benefits exercise and really see how it can make a difference for you and how you reframe looking at certain qualities of your life, certain experiences, certain traits, all the different things. And so with that, we're just going to keep fumbling forward, and until next time.
Look at you. You stayed with me to the end. You're the best. Good thing is, it doesn't have to stop here. Dive into another episode and continue the ride.